The story begins in a park where a man named Sean Archer is spending time with his young son. As Sean hugs him, another man named Castor Troy shoots Sean in the back with a sniper rifle from a distance. While watching from afar, Castor sees the injured Sean crawl toward his son, only for Sean to realize that the child is already dead. 6 years later, Sean, who's an FBI agent, stands in his office looking at a wall covered with awards and certificates before picking up his gun and placing it in its holster. Outside, his team traces Castor Troy, a notorious terrorist using the alias Robert Matthews. Sean walks out of his office and asks whether there is any update from the LAPD intelligence unit or any other agency. When his staff says there is still nothing, he gets frustrated and reminds everyone that nobody is getting a break until they make progress.
Any word from the LAPD intelligence?
Not yet, sir.
We'll take a break when the case breaks.
At the same time, Castor disguises himself as a priest, plants a time bomb inside a building, then casually joins a choir, starts singing, and even flirts with one of the choir girls. Back at the FBI office, Sean is sitting in his office when his colleague Tito rushes in with urgent news. He tells Sean that a private jet has just been booked from a nearby airfield, and the payment is made by Castor's younger brother, Pollux Troy. Sean immediately realizes that Pollux never flies without Castor, and orders his team to get an undercover agent onto the plane. Meanwhile, at the airfield, Pollux waits inside a car until Castor arrives. Pollux asks why he is late and whether everything went according to plan. Castor confidently says the mission was successful and tells Pollux's men to stay away from downtown.
And stay away from downtown on the 18th. It's going to be a little smoggy.
Once the brothers board the plane, a flight attendant serves Castor a drink and asks if he wants anything else. Seeing an attractive woman, Castor immediately starts flirting with her. Before things go any further, the pilot informs him that several vehicles are approaching the runway. Castor quickly pushes the woman aside, heads to the cockpit, and recognizes Sean and his FBI team. At the same moment, the flight attendant reveals herself as an undercover FBI agent and points a gun at Castor, but Pollux attacks her before she can react and knocks the weapon away. Castor orders the pilot to keep moving, while Sean and his team continue chasing the aircraft with several vehicles and a helicopter. Castor drags the captured FBI agent to the front of the plane and uses her as a hostage, forcing Sean to back off. He then kills the agent and throws her out of the aircraft. Although Sean's team stops, Sean quickly boards the helicopter and flies directly above the plane, making it impossible for it to take off properly. When the pilot warns that the helicopter is blocking them, Castor steps out and fires at it. Sean fires back and damages one of the plane's engines, making it impossible to continue flying. Furious, Castor shoots the pilot and tries to control the plane himself, but it crashes into a hangar. Sean and the FBI quickly surround the wreckage. Castor and Pollux come out firing. Pollux is captured, while Castor escapes into the hangar, with Sean chasing after him. During the shootout, Castor kills another FBI agent before the two finally face each other. Castor reminds Sean that they each have only one bullet left. Sean says he is not afraid to die. Castor claims he is about to carry out something huge and offers to reveal everything if Sean releases him and Pollux.
About to unleash the biblical plague hell they deserve.
Bullshit.
Oh no, I see. And maybe I'm not.
Sean refuses. Castor pulls the trigger only to realize his gun is empty. He pretends to surrender while secretly pulling out a knife, but Sean kicks it away. As Castor tries to escape, Sean switches on a nearby jet engine, whose powerful force throws Castor into a wall, knocking him unconscious. Sean and Tito then move in and arrest him. Later, Sean returns home to find his wife Eve arguing with their daughter Jamie, who has been suspended again after another fight. Sean notices Jamie has changed her appearance once more and asks what happened, but she storms off, saying they always blame her. Sean then tells Eve that he has finally caught Castor and promises to make things right with her and Jamie. Relieved, Eve hugs him. The following day, Sean arrives at the FBI office, where everyone applauds him for catching Castor. He quickly stops the celebration and closes the case on his computer before Tito informs him that Special Ops wants to see him. Although Sean says he has no time, Special Ops agent Hollis Miller arrives with a hard drive recovered from Pollux's briefcase. After examining it, they discover information about a bomb capable of spreading a deadly biblical plague across the city. Alarmed, Sean immediately asks where Pollux is. Meanwhile, Pollux insists during interrogation that the bomb does not exist and the hard drive only contains theoretical information. He refuses to say anything else unless he sees his brother. Frustrated, Sean walks away. Sean's boss, Lazaro, tells him to relax and go home, believing the threat is a hoax now that Castor has been captured. Sean refuses to believe it, insisting that he knows Castor too well. Back in his office, Hollis tells Sean she has a plan. Since Pollux will only speak to his brother, she takes Sean to the Walsh Institute. There, Sean is shocked to discover that Castor is still alive and only in a coma. Hollis proves it by burning his skin with a cigarette without getting any response. She suggests Sean impersonate Castor to question Pollux. Confused, Sean listens as Malcolm Walsh, the Institute's director, introduces himself. Malcolm explains that Sean and Castor have similar height and complexion, making the operation possible. He reveals a surgical procedure that can temporarily place Castor's face on Sean. Sean immediately refuses, believing he can get the information by questioning Castor's gang instead.
Your blood types won't match, but Pollux won't know that. Both almost identical.
The procedure's completely reversible.
No one else, Sean.
No!
Sean interrogates several gang members. Sasha refuses to cooperate even after Sean threatens to have her son placed in foster care. He then questions her brother, Dietrich, who mocks Sean about his dead son. Furious, Sean punches him and points a gun at him. Dietrich finally admits that he only knows something major is supposed to happen on the 18th, but has no idea where. Afterward, Sean admits that only Pollux knows the bomb's location. Hollis again asks him to consider the mission, reminding him that it will be completely off the books, and even his family cannot know about it. Having no other option, Sean finally agrees. That night, Sean wakes Eve and tells her that if the sniper's bullet had landed just an inch away, their son would still be alive. Eve comforts him and says everything will be okay now that Castor has been caught. Sean quietly admits that he has one last thing to do before he can truly come home. Though disappointed, Eve simply tells him to go. Before the operation begins, Tito admits that the mission feels like suicide. Sean says he has doubts too, but if Malcolm's technology works, it might succeed.
It's a suicide mission.
He can do even half of what he says he can do. I become Castor Troy.
Malcolm enters the room, and Sean points to the scar left by the sniper's bullet, saying he wants to keep it as a reminder. He hands his wedding ring to Tito before entering the operating room, where Malcolm removes Castor's face with a laser and attaches it to Sean. After the surgery, Sean wakes up looking exactly like Castor. Seeing his reflection, he smashes the mirror in anger until Tito and the others calm him down by reminding him that he is still Sean. Sean then tells them to destroy Castor's face once the mission is over. Sean soon notices that his voice is still different. Malcolm explains that he has implanted a tiny microphone on his larynx to match Castor's voice and warns that sneezing or too much pressure could dislodge it. After a few adjustments, Sean's voice becomes identical to Castor's. Before Sean is sent into prison, Tito reminds him that he has only 2 days to get the information from Pollux before Hollis extracts him. At Erewhon Prison, the head guard Walton tells Sean that he now belongs to them. Sean is fitted with magnetic boots, and Walton explains that the prison's magnetic field allows the guards to track every inmate. As Sean enters the prison, the inmates immediately recognize Castor's face. After briefly dealing with another inmate who recognizes him, Sean approaches Pollux, but a prisoner named Duboff suddenly attacks him. Walton allows the fight to continue. Sean is initially overpowered, but after noticing Pollux watching, he starts acting like Castor and brutally fights back. The inmates cheer until Walton activates their magnetic boots, bringing the fight to an end. Meanwhile, Castor wakes up at the Walsh Institute and discovers that his face is gone. After contacting his men and watching the recording of Sean's surgery, he orders Malcolm Walsh to perform the same procedure on him.
What do you want?
Take one goddamn guess.
Back in prison, Sean tells Pollux that ever since waking from his coma, he has suffered from memory loss and poor reflexes. Pollux questions him about his medication, and Sean answers correctly, slowly earning his trust. Sean then praises Pollux's bomb design, saying such a masterpiece deserves an audience. Flattered, Pollux reveals that the bomb is hidden inside the LA Convention Center. Sean quietly thanks him before calling him pathetic and walking away.
$10 million design, and now
Bomb you built does deserve an audience. It's a work of art.
I guess the LA Convention Center will have to do.
Thank you.
For what?
You are so fucking pathetic.
Sean eagerly waits to meet Tito and Hollis, but is shocked when someone wearing his real face appears instead. He immediately realizes it is Castor. Castor shows him a newspaper reporting that the Walsh Institute has been destroyed and everyone involved in the mission, including Malcolm, Tito, and Hollis, has been killed. He smugly tells Sean that he will spend the rest of his life in prison while Castor takes over his identity and family. Sean attacks him in anger, but the guards quickly stop him with electric shocks.
Sleep. Read the newspaper lately?
Killed them?
Well, look.
Beats. See anything you like?
Castor returns to Sean's house, briefly flirts with Eve outside, then goes inside and looks through Sean's family photos. He catches Jamie smoking, takes one of her cigarettes, and promises to keep her secret if she keeps his, adding that things are going to be different now. Back in prison, Pollux says goodbye to Sean. Sean is stunned to learn that Pollux has accepted a deal with FBI agent Sean Archer and is being released as a state witness. Meanwhile, Pollux is taken to FBI headquarters, where he is questioned about the bomb. Lazaro soon arrives and criticizes Castor for making the deal without approval, ordering that all future decisions go through him. Once alone, Castor convinces Pollux to reveal the bomb's location by promising they will leave their criminal lives behind and that he will become an American hero.
The first thing I need you to confess to is the location of the bomb.
What about our $10 million?
What about when I become an American hero for defusing the bomb? What's that worth?
After Pollux gives him the location, police rush to the LA Convention Center. Since the bomb squad has no time to disarm it, Castor sends everyone out and enters the password himself, stopping the bomb just 1 second before it explodes. In prison, Sean watches the news as Castor is celebrated as a national hero for saving the city and protecting the Supreme Court judges. Broken by the situation, Sean cries alone in his cell. Back at FBI headquarters, everyone congratulates Castor, who suddenly begins acting friendly with his coworkers before inappropriately touching his secretary when she tells him Eve is calling. That evening, Eve returns home to find Castor with a candlelight dinner. She finds his behavior unusual and assumes he must be leaving on another assignment, but he insists he simply wants to spend time with her. Meanwhile, Sean learns from another inmate that the magnetic boots are removed only inside the prison clinic. Realizing it is his chance, he deliberately attacks a guard and is taken there, where Duboff is also present. As soon as their boots are removed, Sean convinces Duboff to help him escape by promising that his wife is waiting for him. Together, they overpower the guards. Sean grabs a gun and fights through the prison, even shooting a bottle of acid to burn pursuing guards. Sean and Duboff make it close to the control room, but Walton shoots Duboff. Sean tries to save him, but Duboff falls down and dies. Sean escapes outside, only to discover the prison is surrounded by water. Meanwhile, a helicopter comes and opens fire, forcing him to dive in and swim away. Elsewhere, Eve asks Castor to visit their son's grave because it is his birthday. Later, Castor learns that Castor Troy has supposedly died while escaping prison, although no body has been found. Sean finally reaches Los Angeles, steals a car, and calls Eve from a hospital phone. He warns her that the man living with her is not her real husband and tells her to take Jamie and leave immediately, but Eve dismisses it and hangs up. Sean then calls Lazaro, but Castor answers instead. Sean warns him that if he is pretending to be Sean Archer, then Sean will become Castor Troy. Sean heads to Dietrich's hideout, where everyone is happy to see who they believe is Castor. Dietrich hands him a briefcase filled with guns and drugs. When asked about the plan, Sean says they are going after Sean Archer. He then suggests attacking Sean at his house while he is vulnerable. When someone points out that the house has a security system, Sean instantly reveals the alarm code, surprising everyone. When Dietrich asks what happens after they kidnap Sean, Sean says they will perform surgery and remove his face.
So, once we kidnap...
Surgery. Take his face.
Meanwhile, Castor is at Sean's house talking to Pollux on the phone. He says that once they gain access to government resources, everything will fall into place, and he may even get his own face back someday. During the call, he notices Jamie's boyfriend forcing himself on her inside a car. Furious, Castor smashes the window, drags the boy out, beats him badly, and forces him to apologize. Later, Castor talks to Jamie about how she has never been the same since her brother's death. He gives her a knife and teaches her how to use it if anyone attacks her again. Back at Dietrich's hideout, Sean wakes up beside Sasha. Startled, he points a gun at her, but she calms him down. Pollux watches them from another building and informs Castor. Sasha tells Sean that if the FBI finds out he is there, they will take away her son. Sean apologizes, saying he is not the same person anymore. When Sasha's son enters, she reveals that he is actually Castor's son, and that she kept it secret to protect him. Sean hugs the boy, but accidentally calls him Michael, frightening the child and confusing Sasha. Moments later, the FBI surrounds the building and opens fire. Sean quickly moves Sasha and the boy to safety, covering the child's ears with headphones. As a fierce shootout begins, Sean escapes with them, while Dietrich and the others hold off the FBI. Sasha hands her son to Dietrich before joining the fight herself. Soon, Castor arrives and shoots Dietrich in the neck. Before dying, Dietrich tells Sasha to take the boy and leave. As Sasha escapes, Sean searches for Castor. The two meet on opposite sides of a wall. Castor suggests they simply switch faces back, but Sean replies that he cannot return everything Castor has taken from from him. Standing in front of a large mirror, they fire at each other through the reflection. As more FBI agents arrive, Sean escapes to the rooftop. Pollux tries to stop him, but Sean swings across on a cable, crashing into Pollux and sending him through a glass ceiling to his death. Devastated, Castor watches his brother die. When an FBI agent dismisses Pollux's death, Castor shoots him in the forehead. The next day, Lazaro informs Castor, who is still posing as Sean, that his reckless operation has caused too much damage and removes him from the terrorist task force. Castor calmly reveals that he is actually Castor Troy before secretly suffocating Lazaro.
Last night's bloodbath. I'm terminating your war on
Something I want to confess. I am Castor Troy.
He then calls for paramedics and pretends Lazaro has suffered a heart attack. Meanwhile, an injured Sean sneaks into his own house. When Eve comes out of the shower, he tells her not to scream or look at his face. She accuses him of killing their son, but Sean insists he is the real Sean Archer. He reminds her of their last conversation before the mission and explains how Castor stole his face and killed everyone involved. Eve still refuses to believe him, so Sean points out that he has O-negative blood while Castor's blood type is AB, giving her a way to confirm the truth. Later, Castor returns home and tells Eve that Lazaro has also died, leaving her as the only important person in his life. Frightened, Eve pretends everything is normal. That night, after Castor falls asleep, she secretly takes a blood sample and rushes to the hospital to have it tested. The results confirm the blood type is AB. Sean is already waiting at the hospital, knowing Eve will come. Still unsure whom to trust, Eve points a gun at him, believing Sean may already be dead. Sean reminds her of a special date they once shared and apologizes for putting her through all this. Eve finally believes him and treats his injuries. Sean says that with Lazaro gone, there is no legal way to stop Castor, but Eve reminds him that Castor will attend Lazaro's funeral the next day. Sean agrees to confront him there.
With Lazaro out of the way, he's untouchable.
Not tomorrow. He'll be at Victor's service.
Tomorrow.
The next morning, Castor wakes to find Eve missing from bed. He rushes to the hospital with his men, but only finds her treating patients. On the way to the funeral, he asks about Jamie, and Eve says she does not know where she is. Elsewhere, Sasha offers to help Sean, but he says this is his fight and promises that she and her son will never have to fear Sean Archer again. At Lazaro's funeral, Sean quietly enters the church. During the service, Castor realizes Sean is already there. Once everyone leaves, another shootout begins inside the empty church. Castor has one of his men bring Eve in at gunpoint and reveals that Jamie too is on her way. Just then, Sasha arrives and points a gun at Castor. He desperately claims that he is the real Castor and the man wearing his face is Sean, but Sasha does not believe him. Another gunman appears and another firefight breaks out. Castor's men are killed, but Sasha is fatally wounded. Before dying, she asks Sean to take care of her son. Sean continues chasing Castor when Jamie suddenly arrives and gets caught in the crossfire. During the fight, Castor grabs Sean by the throat, causing the voice device to fail and Sean's real voice to return. Unable to tell who her real father is, Jamie points her gun at both men. Castor tells her to shoot Sean, but Sean speaks in his real voice and begs her to listen. Confused, Jamie shoots Sean. Castor then grabs Jamie and holds her at gunpoint, forcing Sean to lower his weapon. As Castor taunts her, Jamie uses the knife he gave her earlier to stab him in the leg, allowing Sean to continue the chase. Castor flees to the docks, killing several officers before stealing a boat and blowing up fuel tanks to slow Sean down. Sean gets another boat and follows. During the chase, Castor fires at a police boat, causing Sean's boat to crash through it. Sean eventually jumps onto Castor's boat, and the two engage in a fight. The boat crashes onto land, where Sean finally overpowers and kills Castor. Soon, the police arrive, and Sean's fellow agents recognize him as the real Sean Archer. As he is taken to an ambulance, Eve tells him that the best surgeons are on their way, and everything will finally return to normal. After another surgery, Sean regains his own face and returns home. He introduces Eve and Jamie to Sasha's son, Adam, explaining that the boy will now become part of their family.